So, like, what's my closing remarks after having just finished The Legend of Zelda: The Breath of the Wild on Switch? I played the game 5 years after it came out, and the game, I'm pleased to say, is still held up after all this time. Because games sometimes they age very poorly, but this game I feel like hasn't aged at all. I feel like it's a kind of like a triple platinum game, 10 out of 10 experience. If I can see its influences in many other games, and I can say with certainty that, in my opinion, it's like the best Legend of Zelda that's been made, right, to date. I think... Oh, okay, so you can just do that fight again, can you? That's interesting. I think, like, the four things that I usually talk about, did the game leave an impression on me? It did. The impression that it left on me from a gameplay perspective was immense, and it's left varying impressions in many different areas, from whether it's the art or the sound design or open world stuff, and the puzzling and platforming and all of this type of stuff all comes together really well in a way that only, if I'm brutally honest, only Nintendo can do, right? The next thing is, let me put this here. Move on over, Warcraft. You've had your... Not only was this like arguably one of the worst expansions ever, that's why I could even get a collector's edition. It was also one of the loneliest experiences I ever had playing an MMORPG. I think I made more friends and had more fun playing Warlords of Draenor. Anyway, so it did leave an impression on me. That's the main thing. Will I keep the game? Absolutely. I can't refund it anyway, and I wouldn't want to. I wish I had a steelbook. Would I recommend the game? I have recommended the game during my stream, and I've recommended this game to... don't throw me any shade, but I specifically recommended this game to Cash Miranda as a new adult female gamer, and it was really well received. But due to just how not experimental but exploratory this game is for new gamers, and particularly adult gamers, it's hard to get into the mindset of video game logic very easily. So it was a hit until the game started to get too complex. But them having seen my playthrough, they're excited to try to finish the game themselves, which is wonderful. I think kids growing up today with this game are going to be smarter than ever. This is a game, I think, that's best played with friends. And when I say friends, I mean people who have experienced the game before, so you can vibe with them. Because there's so much to love about this game, and that's what I got to do during the stream. And it's also a game that's best played, ideally. The story, as I outlined before, is formulaic, but it's told in a brand new way here, right? And it's amazing. It's amazing. But Gannon will always be Super Smash Bros. Gannon to me, not that Abominate Calamity Gannon or Mega Beast Gannon, Beast Mode Gan. Is it my favorite Legend of Zelda? No, it isn't. My favorite is still Wind Waker. Love that one. I felt like it was a contained experience. This one, though, unlimited possibilities. You will need a guide if you want to complete it, and you're gonna, as many people have said to me on stream, they've gone through and they've asked for help from people and looked at blogs and Reddit and FAQs and stuff like this. I'm really pleased to say that with my playthrough, I had very minimal outside intervention, and I never needed to Google anything. At one point, I started Googling, and I was on stream, I started Googling, and the problem I was having, I couldn't put it into words right, so I couldn't find an answer, and I gave up. But someone who had beaten that level before read the guide, and they were like, oh, it's outlined in the guide that you actually have to use magnesis on a wall. And I was like, I never ever would have thought about that, because in my experience, the game presented the game presented what appeared to be the solution, but I was tricked by the game, so I actually thought the game was bugged, and that wasn't the case at all. How's this game for streaming appeal? I'll say at this stage of my streaming, it's not a career, but if I was to say streaming career, I would say it's okay. It's okay. I think other people have a lot more success streaming this game than I did. Let's just put it that way. But it's a very friendly game to stream, that's for certain. And I see many people having a lot of success streaming it. Replayability, there's so much to do in this game, and it's got huge speedrun potential, which is something that I love. I love speedrunning. I don't actually speedrun myself, but I just love the idea of going fast and breaking the game. I guess it's the hacker in me. All in all, I think that, as I said during the finale, so to speak, or the climax of the game, like, I think I had a really wonderful playthrough. Like, I managed to get enough shrines to get all the hearts, to get the Master Sword, which was wicked. I collected heaps of cool weapons, and I didn't have to like break them or throw them away, which was cool. And I found the final boss fight very satisfying and truly epic. Like, I was getting frustrated there for a little bit, but I really, really wanted it, you know? I wanted it to be fun, and I'm pleased to report it was fun. The game is 99% fun, and the 1% it wasn't fun was when I was getting my ass handed to me. In terms of difficulty, the game is not difficult, but it requires you to play. Unlike many games today, where you can just throw yourself at the game, and the game tells you not to do that. I think that in terms of art and sound, I've said this earlier, but the soundscape is beautiful, and the score is good when there is one. The absence of sounds, I feel, allows your world to go into Hyrule, just as how you bring Hyrule into your world. So I think that's really nicely done, and I got to listen to all types of music. Even now, when I'm doing this review that I'm recording to go up on YouTube, if you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to like and subscribe and share. You don't need to hit the bell button. Hitting bells is annoying, and you could go to prison in certain parts of the world. So don't. Like, don't climb into Big Ben and hit that bell just because Rivalgaz told you to do that. Do not do that. Anyway, like, at the moment, I'm listening to some Medusa, and we got to listen to all types of songs and albums with our viewers during this playthrough due to the absence of music. So I think that's another plus, depending on how you stream the game. Price-wise, you know, the game is expensive as hell, but you're definitely going to get your money's worth out of it. Replayability, I touched on that, but again, there's so much that you can do. There's so much that you can do in this game, and I feel like every playthrough has a chance to be unique, or at the very least, feel like it was your experience of the playthrough. Unlike Mass Effect, when I played Mass Effect, it had the, you know, they said that it will be your experience of the game and stuff, but I kind of felt like that game was largely all the same, and I don't know how different it could be, other than some of the final choices that were made, like sleeping with people or not, or saving the Geth or not, right? And I didn't even finish that game because of how the game got in the way of itself with DLC content. At least I think it was. Whereas at least with The Legend of Zelda, they've done something truly remarkable, which is incorporate post-game content into the game without getting in the way of itself. Like, the game never gets in the way of itself, and it allows you to play the game how you really want to play it within the confines of it. And I think that's really remarkable. this game challenged me in a lot of ways too. It challenged me to slow down, and it challenged me to play it like a Zelda game, right? And I think this game has redefined what a Legend of Zelda game is, and literally breathed new wild air and life into Nintendo for how you can take classic franchises and elevate them to the next level, or at least provide a refreshing take on the game, right? And that's, I think Nintendo will be paying close attention to that all over it. But whether or not they do or don't, it's not sure. I'm not sure. It's really no different to Toyota saying that they don't want to make boring cars. Well, competition is stiff in the car market, right? All in all, though, I'm very, very glad I played this game. And I'm glad I played this game the way that I did. Day after day, back to back, for hours on end. Really, 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 really fun. It never got stale. Will I miss the game? A little bit. However, unlike Hades, it didn't leave me with the feeling of wanting to find more games just like it, right? I actually feel like this experience is a complete experience in and of itself. So when I played Hades, I got very skilled at the game, but it ultimately left me feeling unfulfilled because of how there's a particular formula for success and how challenge is largely arbitrary. And for me, I felt like I had a skill ceiling. In this game, I feel like playing through, or at least in my playthrough, I was left not wanting more, right? Which might sound like a bad thing if you want to keep selling somebody something. But as a, if I just use like internet trope culture and say, as a boomer gamer, I love the fact that I had a complete experience and I played it from start to finish and I was satisfied with what I got. Yeah, I felt like the game was finished and it was marvelous to play. And I feel like the game has so much complexity that upon a revisitation, you could get a lot out of this game. It is a game that, whilst I have no real desire at the moment to play it because I'm full of the game in a good way, I'm really looking forward to maybe in the future playing it again for some type of reason. I couldn't tell you why. Yeah. I'm very glad I've got to play the game and definitely recommend it. Can't think of anything else really to say about it other than if I had to give it a number score, it's a 10 out of 10 game. If I had to give it a word score, I'd say it's a triple platinum type of game. And if I had to give it like a Rivalgaz score, well, as a man who could literally be doing anything with his time, right? This is how I spent it. And I think that speaks volumes. So yeah, that's pretty much my little review, and I'll wrap it up. Well, I'll hit that button that says stop recording. And since this is going on YouTube, well, enjoy whatever YouTube serves you up next, because that's all you. That's the algorithm looking at you and being like, whoo, we'll give them more Rivalgaz if they actually like Rivalgaz. And if you get something else, shame on you. Nah, not really. Have a good one, guys. Thanks for watching.